Hi guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Megan and I am here today to just share more about traction. Yesterday I shared about the traction mechanism that worked best for me, which was manual upright traction. Today I want to share several different traction units that I've tried out, and these are the ones that did not work for me. I want to share them because for some people, they do work very well, and I think more information can be helpful in figuring out what specifically will be helpful for you, because you'll know perhaps what to look for if you don't know what to look for at all. So first and foremost, what I found did not work for me, and the first traction I actually ever received was laying down manual traction. This was done by a physical therapist who specialized in craniocervical instability. This is generally how physical therapists are trained, is supine, laying down, manual traction, and they just cup their hands like this and gently pull on the base of your skull while you're laying on a medical table. I actually often felt worse when this was done to me. I'm not quite sure why, and my physical therapists don't know why, but for whatever reason, this does happen to a percentage of people with craniocervical instability. That gentle tug was not helpful. So that didn't work, but for some people it does. Next that didn't work was the over-the-door traction unit. This is a basic unit that you can buy on Amazon and from a bunch of different places. What I didn't like about it was that it cupped my jaw and the base of my skull, and the pull up of my jaw while it simultaneously pulled up my skull was aggravating to my symptoms. I'm not quite sure why, but my jaw does not like to be pulled on. So that unit did not work for me. The next one that did not work was a Saunders unit. I preferred this unit to some other traction units that didn't work for me. And why I did like it was because I could set it to different weight settings, and I prefer across the board more weight and more pull on my head. The more pull, generally the more relief I got. And the Saunders unit has the capability to add on a lot of pounds. So that was nice about it. But it still was the supine laying down, and that I did not respond the best to. So because of this, because there were perks to it, I tried to jerry-rig it, and my family and I mounted it to a wall thinking that perhaps that would work best. This did not work for me, unfortunately, and I figured it out because the Saunders unit is tilted at an angle. It's at a diagonal, and for whatever reason, my body does not like to be at a diagonal. Interestingly though, some people with craniocervical instability, their body does like to be at a diagonal. I know some people will get wedge pillows because that's how they're able to sleep at an angle. But that just doesn't work for everyone. So that's something to consider if perhaps you will respond well to that and perhaps you won't. It's just another option. The next thing I tried was a unit. It was also a laying down unit, so I didn't think that it was probably going to likely be beneficial, but I wanted to try it anyway. And it was just a loop that attached to a doorknob, and it had a rope that attached to the head harness. It was super simple, basic, and when you put your head in, you would scoot your body forward and your head would basically do the pulling by itself. I forget what this was called, unfortunately, but what was so attractive about it was that it was another unit that potentially I would be able to do on my own, and this one did not have the jaw strap, so I thought maybe by some chance it would work for me because I had seen great reviews, and lo and behold, it did not work well for me. The reason being, and why I wanted to mention this one, even though I can't tell you the exact name of it, is because I had to finagle myself into it on my own, and that's why I wanted it, was to hopefully be able to get traction on my own during the day when I did not have access to somebody else to give me manual traction. But I quickly realized that the traction machines that I had to try to finagle my head into made me worse often, because when I'm in flares, my body's not working properly, it's even more difficult to try to put myself in the proper positions necessary to do it successfully, and I jostled myself in the process, making my symptoms worse. So something to consider. But I know some people who maybe don't present as severe as me or as I did early on will respond well to something like that you can do on your own at home. So that's another option. The last thing I tried was an occipital release tool. It's basically just a block with a little head divot. You rest the base of your skull on it, and it does the pulling itself. This did not work for me for whatever reason, but for some people it does. So something to look into. I hope that these are just some things to consider and give you more options if you don't know where to start. Like I said, these didn't work for me, but for some people they really do work. So that is all for today. I will add another video on traction. If you have any specific questions, send me a message. If you have things that did work well for you and you know the reasons why, I'd love if you share in the comments. I think it would probably be helpful for someone else as well. All right, guys, bye.